Hey everybody, I'm Brandon Grysko. I'm an attorney with the law firm Fausone Bohn based in Northville, Michigan. I'm here today to talk about Executive Order 2020-59, which is the governor's most recent iteration of the stay home, stay safe executive order that's been getting a lot of attention lately. Although at the time that we planned on filming this, it was the most recent order, there's actually since been an EO 2020-60 that's come out, which I haven't had a chance to look through yet, but to the extent that's relevant, we'll be providing an update later on with material for that. A little bit about the firm here. We're one of the premier business firms in Western Wayne County. Are happy to provide this information to businesses so that they can structure their policies and their operations and determine how best to operate or if to operate under the current global health pandemic. And so we've been assisting businesses in this regard, and we're happy to assist you if you need it, and are available for remote appointments and things like that virtually to be able to best assist you and maintain appropriate, safe social distancing. So the first thing I want to talk about is some of the sort of business-related aspects to the executive order. And it's important to note that many of the previous restrictions have been carried forward into this order. So to the extent possible, businesses should be evaluating their policies and their operations to determine whether or not it makes sense to let their employees work remotely. Along with that, some things to consider are maybe agreements or policies with employees that support remote work, such as agreements related to company-owned equipment and work-from-home policies and things of that nature. So what hasn't changed, to the extent that your business doesn't support a critical infrastructure, or to the extent your employees are not maintaining minimum basic operations, the general rule is that operations related to non-essential type activities are suspended. However, there's been some very important changes in the current Executive Order 2020-59 that does allow for some resumed activities that are going to be important for businesses to be aware of. For example, the current Executive Order allows for non-essential businesses to begin operating on a curbside or delivery type basis. So to the extent that you have workers that are necessary to support sales that can be conducted via delivery or curbside, those activities are resuming. The other big one is landscaping, gardeners, lawn care businesses. Those types of businesses also are allowed to resume in-person activities. Three other types of businesses that have been allowed to resume operations are golf courses, bicycle repair shops, and moving and storage companies. So that has to do with some of the general business concerns that might be out there, but as employers, you also need to be aware of employment type concerns that the executive order imposes on businesses that are going to maintain in-person operations. Now, the policies that we discussed earlier, remote work policies and company-owned property policies, are very important for any business that's going to have remote workers. However, the executive order imposes some additional policy and procedure requirements that all businesses should be aware of. For example, businesses that maintain in-person operations should have a written, detailed COVID-19 response policy and procedure, and that policy and procedure should be located physically somewhere in the workplace where it can be accessed. Additionally, employers staff their businesses in a way or maintain operations in a way that maintains appropriate social distancing in line with the current CDC recommendations of 6 feet. Now, that applies not only between coworkers in the same workspace, but it also applies to workers in the workplace and customers when they come in, if they come in. Lastly, employers have to provide at least non-medical face coverings to all workers who are doing in-person operations at the workplace. Now, I know this is a lot of information to throw at you all at once, so to the extent that you have any questions or comments, please feel free to follow up with us. The law firm Fausone Bohn has been assisting businesses through this unprecedented public health crisis, and we stand ready to assist your business with whatever it may need during this time through a variety of remote services, including video conferencing, telephone consultations, and more.